Culture. When you say it was really attractive to you, you had obviously had a variety of experiences already, but what was unique about Smith Group that kind of made you lean toward this firm?
Yeah, so it was very familial. It felt like the teams really clicked together well. There was a lot of kind of equity in the sense that people felt like they could equally contribute to design, as well as one principal was telling me they like to detail what you design, so seeing through as much of the process as possible. So that way you have invested ownership in it. You're not just hopping on and off. Sometimes that's required, but I like the fact that it felt like a good fit, almost like anyone would feel like a good fit with any friend. There was just chemistry.
Yeah, I love that you're focusing on the people side of it, because I think a lot of times people look at portfolios or projects or reputation and not taking into account the people that make up a firm and how you fit into it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important. Yeah, very important in terms of your happiness going forward and your long-term potential and growth. So let's get past the silly stuff. So Carrie, you are at Canon Design,
yes,
right? So what is it like to work at Canon Design? What's the culture like? What are the projects like? What's your experience been?
So a lot of my projects are for public or private universities, fairly large, in the $40 million and up construction budget range.
Okay.
Several university unions, some libraries, and then just last year they made me the project architect for our office relocation and the renovation of that interior space. Yeah, no pressure, because it's not like I'm going to be working.
Go wrong?
Yeah, it's not like I'm going to be working with these people and we're going to be there for the next 10 years. And I'd say, oh, you could have done this better. So I made it clear to my contractor, I'm like, I'm going to be on you to make this right, because I don't want to hear about this for the next 10 years.
Self-preservation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so when you're at Canon Design, are you working on a specific building type? Is there a specific studio that you're in, or do you guys share projects around?
So the DC office is primarily higher education. We do also have engineering and environmental graphics, which does anything from room signage to Hall of Fames and exhibit design.
Cool.
But worldwide, we have multiple offices with about 1,000 people, and I think our firm main work is actually healthcare. And so we actually have a way of working that we call SIFMA, which is called Single Firm Multi-Office. So we don't really have a headquarters, but we're able to share people and share resources and work very seamlessly across offices, which is made better by current technology.
So what's the hardest part about being, at the early stages of your career? What are give me some of the honest frustrations or, feelings you've had along the way in your first 5 years of practice? What's it really like?
Navigating your first 5 years is really hard. Like I said, it's a really versatile profession. There's a lot of different directions you can go. As I kind of alluded to in my answer about where I want to be in 5 years, it's hard to figure out because there's so many options, right? So many different building types and project types and different roles within your projects. As part of the Emerging Architects Committee, I'm actually helping to organize a series right now called Architecture Uncensored. We do it every year.
Yep.
It's a really fun series, not to off track, but...
No, please, let's pause for a minute. What is Architecture Uncensored? That's a project or initiative you're working on, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about it. What is it?
So it's a really great series we do every year. It's usually 3 sessions, and it explores sort of taboo topics in architecture that you don't feel comfortable talking about in the office, which an emerging architect, there's a lot of things you don't always feel comfortable talking about with your boss, right? So we've covered topics like work-life balance, pay, that's always a big conversation, licensure and the value of licensure. And this year, our entire series is actually called What the Bleep is an Architect.
Cool.
And it's exploring this versatility in the profession, right? So we've been master builders, and we've been thought leaders, and there's sort of all these different ways of labeling what an architect is, and on a day-to-day, the people I work with always do completely different things than what I'm doing, So I think, to go back to your other question, the hardest part in the beginning about navigating sort of where you're going is just being able to absorb and take in all these new things that are being thrown at you, and use that to sort of design and craft your own path. Another really hard part is transparency between what the sort of strategic vision is maybe from the place that you're working versus what you're seeing on a day-to-day. I think when I first came out of school, that was a really big challenge for me, is that I felt very task-oriented and not goal-oriented.
So, as I mentioned, you're one of the few small firm folks we've had on the show. So what's it like? What do you think the advantages are for somebody looking for their first job? What are the advantages of a small firm for your first gig?
First gig, it's definitely tough. I think it's sink or swim.
Sure.
At a small firm, you're really requested to do everything, sort of be hands-on with, early design concepts all the way through detailing. You may not be understanding some of the details you're drawing, but you don't get siloed into certain positions.
Sure.
Some days I'm the IT guy, some days I'm the project manager, some days I'm the project architect. That's the advantage, is thinking you get such a wide exposure, and you really start to learn architecture is a very wide field, and there's a lot of opportunities in different areas. So that to me is the biggest advantage.